Look, Cheshire Cat, should I take? Because there are about 5 or 6 roads. And Alice did not know how to get out of the woods. So she is asking the Cheshire Cat, which should I take? So this Cheshire Cat turns back and asks Alice, where do you want to go? So Alice says, I don't know where I want to go. To which the cat replies, if you don't know where you want to go, it doesn't matter which road you take. So that's a cartoon that I always use in many of my lectures, because it tells you very, very powerfully and very simply that you need to decide where you want to go before you choose the road by which you want to go to that place, which is what his vision and strategy is about. So my secretary from Jamshedpur sent that cartoon to me immediately on a fax machine, and I wrote a note to the boss. It was some 8 o'clock in the night. I wrote a note to the boss saying that, Chairman, I don't think we are in such a bad position as not being able to know where to go. I think we know where to go, and we are in the process of choosing the road. So you shouldn't get too upset about what we have done. That's the comment that I actually wrote. 10:30 in the morning when I reached the office, the reply from the chairman was already there. It says, Mr. BM, if I had served the role of the Cheshire Cat, I have a great sense of fulfillment. That I am very happy that you people are thinking about which road to take. And if I have acted the role of the Cheshire Cat, I have a great sense of fulfillment. I will never forget that, because the point I am trying to make is, evolving a strategy of a company is not an easy job. It takes a long time. You have to challenge yourself several times, and often like-minded people are likely to get to the same path again and again and again and again. And you need to get somebody who is absolutely not involved in it as a murder board to really challenge yourself. And chairman is one of those persons who does this job extremely well. And it always has remained in my mind whenever I talk about strategy in any other place. But let me come to operational excellence. You know, broadly in any company, there are 2 broad ways in which you can make the company grow, make it big, get better market capitalization or better market share. There are 2 broad ways of doing it, and not necessarily one is exclusive of the other. One is, of course, to grow by making investments and creating assets, by mergers and acquisitions and so on and so forth. And the other is by simply improving your operational performance. One is not exclusive of the other. But these 2 things, although they seem somewhat different, and they are different, they are very different in one very major way. And that part sometimes many of us don't think. For example, when you want to grow through acquisitions and mergers and investments and so on, the decision making involves a very few people. It involves the board, it involves the senior management, maybe 20, 30 people in the company are involved. And as long as you've got some money around to sort of spend, you will go and spend that money. And a very small number of people are involved in it. And it takes a lot of money. You need to spend money. Maybe you'll get an ROI of 20% or 25% or 15%, somewhere in that region. There are risks associated with it. But the most important characteristic of that decision is it involves only a very small number of people in an organization. As opposed to it, when you improve operation, when you excel in operational performance, when you continuously improve things, when you continuously improve the way you produce power, or improve the way you market the product, you improve the way you do your HR processes or procurement processes, when there is a continuous improvement, always, all the time, that involves everybody in the organization. It costs no money or very little money. It is a huge ROI. It has no risks. But in spite of all that, you will find most companies focusing much more on where do we invest, where do we emerge, what do we acquire, where do we spend money on. Very much more, if you see the minds of the companies and minds of the senior management of the companies, a lot more time was spent on this than on improving operational performance, because we seem to assume that operational performance will come about and you will reach some dead end somewhere beyond which you cannot improve, but which is not correct actually, which is not correct, and it has been proved time and again in many outstandingly operating performance oriented companies. And one very powerful differentiator between the two is the operational performance improvement involves or must involve or can involve 100% of the population of the company. So it actually energizes the company, not simply to operational improvement for getting the teams together, for a single-minded alignment of the company towards objectives and goals. It actually, an improvement of operational performance on a continuous basis aligns the minds of the people of the company for doing many other tasks, considerably much more than just purely investment-based decisions of asset creation, which is why the operational performance is not important. It is not to be seen merely as improving the ROI or improving, you have a better operating performance, you have reduced the cost, you have improved customer service. That's one part, which comes with no money. All that is greatly positive. But the biggest positive of everything is the fact that simply because it involves an increase in organizational energy in a very major way, because it involves everybody, because everybody has to be actively engaged if you want an organization to move forward. Just few guys sitting in the boardroom or in the management cannot move the organization forward. It is the organizational energy of the people that moves forward. And this operational performance has that unique characteristic which the investment decisions don't have. Which is why, and it is, if there is no other benefit, I would go for operational performance just for one benefit, simple benefit, because this is the essence of running an organization. The essence of running an organization is get an organizational alignment of 100% of the population of the people for anything that you want to do. Then that journey becomes easier. This operational performance improvement has that characteristic, and which is why it's a very, very important subject. I'm just going to deal with just two aspects of operational performance, and then if there is time permitting, we can have some discussions and debate. There are three fundamental aspects of operational performance, of any operation. What I mean by operational performance is just not manufacturing performance. Customer related performance, delivery performance, consistency performance, procurement performance, human resource process performance, maintenance performance, all of them are clubbed under these operations. There are three fundamental aspects. It will help us to understand operational performance better if we think, in my view, if you think it along these three fundamental lines. And those three fundamental lines are, one is standardization, and one is improvement, and one is innovation. When I use the word innovation, don't think of some big, sort of big ticket innovation. I'm not talking about that, and I'll come to what I meant by that. We must create a mindset whereby we believe that every process, the first step in operational performance or in excelling, going to superior operational performance, the first step is standardization. I know standardization is very boring. It's not exciting. It's not challenging. But I can tell you it's not an easy thing to do. The first step is to make, in any company, there are thousands of processes. A manufacturing process can be subdivided into hundreds of processes. A human resource process can be subdivided into hundreds of processes. By standardization, what I mean is every process must be standardized and be operated with a narrow band of variability. That's very important. It is like if you are supplying power to somebody, one day you supply X units and the other day you supply X plus delta, X plus X, 2X units, and the third day you supply 0 units, he is not going to get satisfied. So any performance, if I am